The Dow's at its highest level in months as the closing bell rings on Wall Street. It's Monday, August the 20th. Tonight, market analysts are turning on Tesla and Elon Musk. I'll speak to one of the company's biggest champions. Pepsi makes a bet on bubbles with a $3 billion deal for SodaStream. And the end of an ominous era. Greece is finally out of its bailout program. I'm Bianca Golodriga, and this is Quest Means Business. And tonight, Wall Street turns on Elon Musk. Tesla stock is under pressure once again. Shares were down as much as 4%, crashing below $300 before recovering. America's largest bank, JP Morgan, slashed its price target for Tesla to just $195 a share. It's a far cry from where Musk claimed he'd secured funding for a private takeover. That was at $420 a share. The Tesla CEO is also back on late-night Twitter. In a 2:30 a.m. tweet at Arianna Huffington, Musk admitted his marathon shifts on the factory floor are all that stands between Tesla and bankruptcy. Huffington wrote a plea for him to get more sleep. Musk says that is not an option. Well, Ross Gerber is one of Tesla's most vocal and supportive investors. He is joining us in Los Angeles. Ross, you are still fighting for Tesla and a supporter of Elon Musk. Why are you so optimistic when others are turning sour?
Because I have the car and others do not. So they have no idea what they're talking about. I literally drive this car every day, and it is the best car that's ever been made since the original Model T. So you know, this product is a game changer. So while everybody's distracted, worried about what Elon Musk is doing 2 in the morning, what he's done is built just an amazing, transformative product. And I think that's being lost in this whole discussion.
Well, the car has not gone without some of its issues and hiccups along the way. You've had whistleblowers. You've had the death of a passenger who was driving in an autonomous car. Tell me about, beyond just the structure of a car, the structure of the company and the dire, some would say dire financial shape that the company's currently in.
Well, this dire financial shape with over $2.5 billion in cash, and now you know, we think the company's cash flow break even as of now, and possibly cash flow positive going into the next quarter. But the main issue is scale. Could they get to 5,000 cars? Couldn't they get this to 10,000 cars? And what they've been able to prove, at least in the last month, is they can maintain an over 5,000 car a week run rate for the Tesla Model 3, and they're moving towards 6,000 cars. And now some analysts are saying they might even be at 8,000 cars by the end of the quarter. And we're modeling 10,000 cars a week by the end of the year. So, you know, the truth of the matter is things are going pretty well because he's had to put in a Herculean effort to make this work. But he's right. He's got to keep doing what he's doing to make sure that this gets to where it needs to be.
Is Tesla without Elon Musk at the top?
No, it's not. And we're betting on Elon Musk. I mean, this guy is a genius, and we can all give him a hard time when he's down, but this is a guy who can land rockets on moving ships. This is a guy who's transformed our space industry and now has one of the greatest solutions for global climate change. It is so hot in the world, and we need Tesla to be successful, and Elon Musk is the driver of this. And so people just like to kick a guy when he's down, but please.
Well, but he's not just any guy. He's the head of the company.
Right.
He's the man who is tweeting without admitting, even himself admitting, that he spoke to the board about taking the company private. The SEC's launching an investigation. You've got headlines saying that Tesla suppliers fret about getting paid. I mean, would this work for a CEO to act in such erratic ways at any other company?
Well, first of all, the President of the United States is the most erratic person who's ever been on Twitter, and he's running the country, and somehow we're not all dead yet. So I think that this modern style of management is new for a lot of people. I'm sure if Steve Jobs had Twitter, we might have different feelings too. I don't know if I like the way he's handling his Twitter per se at this point, but you know, once again, this is the modern world, and this is the way people communicate, including myself and the media. Elon
has said that Tesla is going to be profitable and cash flow positive this year. If that doesn't happen, does your position on the company and Elon Musk himself change?
Not to the point of like if it's $1 short or something. We've modeled out that if they make 120,000 Model 3s in the next 6 months, that they'll be break even or cash flow positive. So that's what's most important to us, is that the cash flow drain stops. It doesn't necessarily have to be a huge positive, but I think the main thing is taking the financial stress off the company of that very heavy CapEx spending. But what most people are discounting is that this pressure on Musk is making him a more disciplined investor in Tesla, and the way they're spending money in Tesla and the way they've slowed down the spending of money in Tesla is actually very positive for the shareholders. So I think this pressure on Elon is a good thing, to have to run the company to be more profitable or to be more sustainable. And I think ultimately, when we look back at all of this, this will actually end up helping Tesla a lot be a better company on the long term.
Yeah, he said this has been his worst year yet. So from your lips to, you know, let's hope shareholders share your optimism going forward. Well, and he puts that Twitter. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I have yet to ever see a CEO work so hard to achieve his goals, put so much, his whole life into it. Honestly, there are so few CEOs that even come close to putting in the effort that Elon's putting in to be successful. So we're going to back him, and you know, we wish him the best, and hopefully he gets some rest. But at the same respect, you know, get these cars out. They're a game changer.
Yeah, we all wish him the best. That is for sure. Ross Gerber, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Well, the future of PepsiCo just got a little bit clearer. The company is paying over $3 billion for SodaStream, the Israeli company known for home sparkling water makers. The deal is part of Pepsi's push into healthier products. CEO Indra Nooyi has split PepsiCo's offerings into 3 categories. Fun for you, high-calorie snacks and Doritos, like drinks and Doritos, and, well, of course, Pepsi. We have them on display here. Better for you, things like diet sodas and smart food popcorn. There it is in the middle. And then there's good for you. SodaStream will land in this group with products like the Naked Juice and the Sabra hummus. Brand management expert Bruce Turkel joins me live from Miami, Florida. So, Bruce, Indra has announced that she's leaving the company. This is, I guess, her parting gift and parting decision, a huge decision as the CEO with this acquisition. Is it the right one?
Well, what you said earlier, the segmenting of Pepsi products into those 3 areas, that's a very smart way for them to deal with the different pressures they have. Now, notice they didn't call the first group of products bad for you. They called them fun for you.
Right.
So clearly it's a very strategic program. And the bottom line is Pepsi sells soda. And they don't really care how it's made, how it's manufactured. They want to be in that distribution chain. So in the world of customization that we all live in today, if you want to make it yourself, they want to make sure you're still buying it from them.
You know, I remember SodaStream being a really hot product around 5 or 6 years ago. There were some celebrity endorsements. It was buzzed about almost on a daily basis. I haven't heard much lately, and that begs the question, why now? And is $3 billion a bit too much?
Well, why now? I think that's quite clear. Pepsi is looking to maintain its competitive level, and they want to make sure that they are taking all these different routes. Amazon has proved that direct-to-consumer is the future, and let's face it, if Pepsi doesn't do this, Amazon will soon be selling Amazon soda, and we'll be going on our Echoes and our smart devices and ordering it. So they want to make sure that they can put themselves into the area. Whether $3 billion is the right number or not depends on a lot of things. I mean, the company wasn't worth that just a few years ago, so you could question it. The bigger question is it critical to Pepsi's future plans? Do they need this to make sure that they're not sitting on the wayside while they're watching us all make our own custom coffee, make our own custom products, make our own custom soda?
Well, it's clear that the trend line shows that the sale of sugary beverages and pop sodas has gone down. The sales of water has gone up. People have become more health conscious. So what does this decision mean for Coca-Cola, obviously Pepsi's arch rival?
Well, remember that Coca-Cola had gone with Keurig with their cold device, and they looked to walk down this same path just a few years ago. They didn't have such success with it. Does that mean it was a bad idea and will prove to be a bad idea now? Or does it mean the timing was wrong back then, and now the timing is right? I don't know the answer. What I do know is that Pepsi owns a lot of water brands, a lot of bottles that you buy that have different names on them that you like are owned by Pepsi. So I think you can be pretty clear that Pepsi will build a brand extension model where you'll be able to use your soda stream in order to incorporate those brand names. Once again, Pepsi doesn't care where the product comes from. They only care that you buy it from them.
And obviously, like so many other companies, really watching that behemoth Amazon take over market shares from lots of different areas, wanting to compete and avoid having to have Amazon eat their lunch. All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much. Well, U.S. market
eat their lunch or drink their water.
Or drink their water. That's right, in this case at least. Well, U.S. markets closed higher across the board. Nike shares helped boost the Dow. The S&P 500 also finished close to an all-time high. On Wednesday, the current U.S. bull market will become, get this, the longest in history. This will be a big week for U.S. retail earnings. Kohl's reports tomorrow, Target on Wednesday, and Gap on Thursday. Also on Thursday, new tariffs are scheduled to take effect in the trade war between the U.S. and China. On Friday, Jerome Powell speaks at the Federal Reserve's annual symposium in Jackson Hole. One trader told Paula Newton on Quest Express that he's still optimistic.
We expected U.S. earnings to be good. By and large, they were good. They took us to these levels here. Now we're seeing more of a broader-based rally, which is good. We're not just seeing this tech-focused or the FANG names really drive us to new highs. We're starting to see other companies participate, and that's been the key to the strength of this market.
Now, the earnings have been stellar, but what about the market's resilience, or perhaps some would call it, you know, hear no evil, see no evil, about trade, just about some of the dark debt issues that have been coming both from the fiscal point of view, both from government and from corporate debt. Any of those issues, higher interest rates, anything. Give me something, Matt, anything.
You know what? I'm normally kind of negative and bearish as a whole.
Cautious, right?
Yeah, I think cautious would be, would be nice. But I think right now, this is time. I mean, you know, we're seeing, you know, if we can get retail back on board this week, we got a lot of big retailers coming out, and this was after Walmart. So we have Kohl's, and we've got Target, and we've got all these other U.S. company retailers that we're hoping for good things. This is a good sign for the economy. This says that Main Street America is now on board, and they're using their money. So I don't see anything right now. The worry for me was always the midterm elections.
Gotcha.
And I'm not sure that's raising its head just yet.
The midterm just a few months away. Nice to see some optimism there, though. Well, Brazil, Zimbabwe, Turkey, and now Venezuela. The Bolivar is getting its zeros trimmed. It's part of Maduro's magic formula for recovery. So will it work? We're live in Caracas. And Greece has completed one of the biggest economic bailouts in history. We'll hear from the country's former finance minister, Yanis Varoufakis, who says nothing has changed.
Traveling is not just about seeing places.